Hey there, YouTubers! Hi there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to another chemistry video. Today is another installment in my series on the periodic table of elements. Today we'll be diving into the weird section of the table where the elements aren't with the rest. Instead, they're isolated on an island all alone. These elements are the rare earth metals, which are split into two sections, the lanthanides and the actinides. Now, I debated whether or not to make these two separate videos, on them. This is taking into consideration that the lanthanides are boring compared to the actinides. However, there is still probably enough information to talk about each individually. So today, we're going to be talking about the lanthanides, why they get their own row, their general characteristics, and finally we'll talk about some of the fun ones individually. Now, electrons have an interesting way of filling orbitals. Lighter atoms will fill S, then P. The atoms get a little heavier, they fill S, D, and then P. The heaviest atoms fill S, F, D, and then P. Because of this filling order, the lanthanides get their own row. To learn more about this, I recommend you watch the first part of this series, What is the Periodic Table? That first video should answer any questions you may have or cause you to have more. Fun fact, at the time I'm recording this video, the first part of this series went up yesterday, Valentine's Day. Guess what I did? I wrote this script on Valentine's Day because I'm all alone. Are you going to cut? Or do you want me to cry? Oof, I'm glad that emotional train wreck is out of here. The first element in this section is lanthanum. Duh. I'll wait for you to laugh at my joke. It was funny. Justified. I don't hear you laughing. Oh! You didn't laugh because you didn't know it was a joke. And now you're cringing. Well, you know what? You're cringe. Worthless comments section. Well, I thought we got rid of the train wreck, but I guess I was wrong. Anyway, I could have bought lanthanum to show you, but I didn't for some reason. I should have because it's 3 times more abundant than lead. However, lead, at least on Amazon, isn't that cheap, so I don't understand how everybody says it's so cheap. Well, whatever the case may be, lanthanum is a good representation of the rest of the rare earths and the lanthanides, which aren't that rare. They're all about the same chemically, but can be distinguished from each other by their magnetic properties. They also like to make sparks when you hit them with the grinder. They are often left together in mixtures after mining because of their nearly interchangeable characteristics. You can separate them, but that's usually expensive and pointless. Because they cause sparks when you strike them, their mixtures are often in fire starter kits as the flint to your steel. Speaking of sparks, cerium is really great at that. This characteristic has a name, pyrophoric. Cerium, in combination with iron and other rare earths, is used in fire starter kits, as I stated earlier. Again, this is a boring set of elements. In any case, cerium is twice as abundant as lanthanum, making it almost as common as copper on Earth, yet I still don't have any. However, it is often used in its oxide form as an abrasive for polishing. Ah, the periodic table of elements. Breathtaking. Oh, hi there. I didn't know you were there. What's that? You're wondering how I know all of this information? I'm flattered. Well, I have my online sources as per the usual. They're in the description. However, I do have a book I get most of the information from. That book is The Elements, a visual exploration of every known atom in the universe by Theodore Gray. It's an absolutely wonderful read if you're interested in the elements or chemistry, or it's just a great read in general. I read it when I was in like 7th or 8th grade. Anyways, enjoy the rest of the video. We have a strong high pressure system moving in southeast here. It's going to push out this low pressure system and replace it with some nice, warm, and sunny weather. Oh, you wanted to hear about the elements, not the weather. Well, skipping over praseodymium, because I don't care and it's hard to say, neodymium is more interesting than it sounds. It's used in neodymium magnets. Duh. Or what people who can't say neodymium call rare earth magnets. These magnets are mostly iron, in some cases. So originally I bought one thinking it was pure neodymium that had been charged somehow. Of course I was wrong. Pure neodymium is actually kind of expensive. So now I have a really strong, big magnet that is probably mostly iron. These magnets are the strongest permanent magnets known to man. Permanent refers to the fact that they don't need our electric current running through them to function. This gives them uses from super small and strong electric motors to earrings that don't need a hole in your ear to stay on you. You know, I'm running out of ideas of how to write into this. Promethium is similar to technetium in the fact that it's one of the few exceptions when saying all elements lighter than bismuth are stable. Promethium has no stable isotopes. The most stable isotope is promethium-147, with a half-life of 2.6 years. If you don't know what half-life means, go watch any of my previous element videos. Promethium has no real-world uses, unlike technetium. At one point, it was used in luminescent watch dials, like radium, but it's no longer used because, I don't know, radiation poisoning is bad, I guess? Can't hurt. At least it was discovered by an American, despite its name being Greek. I guess the team of researchers was feeling humble, unlike Seaboard. Yum. I'm a little bunny. Skipping cerium and europium, I do want to say, though, europium is used in phosphorescent compounds, and cerium is kind of easy to collect. But gadolinium is cheaper and has more interesting characteristics. Gadolinium is interesting in that it is not magnetic at room temperature, so it doesn't count as the elements that are. The ones that are magnetic at room temperature are iron, cobalt, and nickel. Interestingly enough, though, because why else would we be talking about it, it has a very high Curie point. A Curie point is the temperature that a material becomes magnetic, or as you heat it up, it loses that ability to be attracted to a magnet. Gadolinium becomes magnetic at 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So if your room is a little cold, you can stick to a magnet. It's because of this interesting property that is one of my favorites. Its compounds have many uses because they are paramagnetic at room temperature. This means they are attracted to a magnet, as where gadolinium is ferromagnetic at room temperature, meaning it is not attracted to a magnet. This paramagnetism is useful for MRI imaging, and gadolinium compounds are useful as contrast materials. Skipping terbium, dysprosium, holmium, which is useful in MRI magnets, and erbium, you arrive at thulium, element 69. Unlike some of the other elements that have interesting characteristics, and that gets them into my favorites, thulium is one of my favorites just for the meme. However, it costs too much for me to get a good sample, i.e. a cube of it. So if you want a boy to live out his dreams of holding element 69, help me out and subscribe and give me watch time. Please, I just really want to hold it. Thulium is rare and difficult to separate from other rare earths and only has one use. In my opinion, this makes it one of the most useless stable elements. However, it is used to get a wide range of green spectrum lines and metal halide lamps that no other elements can do. So I guess it has that going for it. Despite this one use, where it's used in small quantities, it's still extremely expensive. One density cube will cost me over $100. So help me out and subscribe. Otherwise, thulium is just like the other rare earths. It'll make an expensive sparking bar or paperweight. Terbium and lutetium are just as useless as thulium. So if you haven't noticed, that's all the lanthanides. I've listed them all, funny enough. Those last two were the most difficult to pronounce, and I'm sure I butchered the pronunciations anyways. I'll work on that over the next 2 weeks before the actinides. In the meantime, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New videos every other Friday, 2 p.m. Central Time, and good night. Subs for trees, subs for trees, subs for trees, subs for trees. Oh, you're still here? I thought I told you to go home. Oh, you want more? I'm flattered. Check out the playlist. If you want exclusive content, check out my Instagram, Dr_Sheep_YouTube. That's all lowercase. If you want to help the earth, subscribe. When I reach 100 subscribers, I'm going to plant 10 trees. If you feel that's too small, then check out my channel chart where I lay out even bigger goals. Finally, stick around for the next 20 seconds to give me that sweet watch time. Bye.